the Aerospray RG versus MG, otherwise known as gold versus silver. Which is better? This is LED of LED Games. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. Now first, let's just generally talk about the Aerospray and what the Aerospray is best at. The Aerospray is a wonderful painting weapon. It is usually one of the first weapons that people will pick up when they first start playing Splatoon. When you're first starting out and you're playing Turf War, the Aerospray is kind of a no-brainer. It has excellent painting quality, especially in terms of their combo. So not only the main weapon, but the combination of the main, sub, and special weapon really make the Aerospray a wonderful painting weapon. What it is not a combat weapon per se. It is not the type of weapon that you are going to want to get in someone's face and fight head on. That's just not what the Aerospray is. It is not what is known as a slayer weapon. I would say it is classified as more of a support weapon due to its painting quality. With all that being said, there's a disclaimer. I do see Aerosprays in competitive matches. I do see that. Would it be my choice? Would it be maybe the majority of people's choices? No. I think choosing an Aerospray in a competitive setting is a contrarian choice, but it does happen. And if that is you, please let me know down below, because I know you guys are out there. I know that there are people out there on Aerosprays who are absolutely killing it. Now that we've established a little bit about Aerosprays, let's get into the comparison between the gold versus silver. Both of these weapons have the exact same range, damage, and fire rate, with the range being 35 out of 100, damage 10 out of 100, and fire rate 90 out of 100. Which this just further solidifies why this is not necessarily a combat weapon, but it is a painting weapon with a damage of 10 out of 100, but a high fire rate. You're going to be able to paint a lot quicker. There are three main differences to note, aside from the color, of course, we're not counting that, is the sub-weapon, the special weapon, and the special points, actually. So with the Aerospray MG, the silver one, we have a sub-weapon of a fizzybomb and a special weapon of a reefslider. And with the Aerospray RG, we have a sub-weapon of a sprinkler and a special of a booyah bomb. The differentiation, actually, which I didn't know this until I started making this video, is the special points. You actually get more special points with the gold RG Aerospray than with the silver MG. With the silver, you get 190 points for special points, and for the gold, the RG, you get 200 points, which I thought was interesting. Not a huge differentiation at all, just 10 points, but of note. And to be clear, a 10-point differentiation between these two weapons is quite negligible, but it is of note. But I would in no way make that the deciding factor between whether you prefer the gold or the silver. One other thing worth noting is that the Aerospray you can get at level 5, and you can't get the Aerospray RG, the gold one, until you're at a level 18. So there is a little bit of a gap as far as who can have access to this weapon. The developers did a really great job at balancing between these two different weapons, because with either option you're going to have a trade-off. If you choose to go with the silver Aerospray MG, you're going to have a much stronger sub-weapon than special. And if you choose to go with the Aerospray RG Gold, you're going to have a much stronger special than sub-weapon. And this is with the caveat that your team actually booyahs you back. Please don't be that person. Please booyah us back. We really appreciate it. If you're here for combat, the fizzy bomb is just objectively a better sub-weapon, but if your goal here is to paint, then the sprinkler is the way to go. I decided to do a test between these two sub-weapons, and the one on the left is the fizzy bomb at full charge, and the one on the right is obviously the sprinkler. And so again, if your goal here is to paint, then the sprinkler is a much better option. If you are wanting combat, if you want to splat folks, then the fizzy bomb is your option. The question of special weapons, however, and which one you should choose is a little bit more of a complicated question to answer, and that is due to the variables that come with having Booyah Bomb on your team. And so I think the best way to answer this question is asking what type of player are you that day? because if you really want to be out there, you want to be independent, and you want to be by yourself, then I would suggest going with a reefslider. It is known as kind of a selfish special because you're kind of really only helping yourself, and maybe if your team is in a really tight bind, then the reefslider can be helpful. But the booyah bomb, however, you are very team reliant. You need to make sure to know that your team is going to be giving you booyahs, or you're going to be spamming the booyah yourself. And that isn't always a surefire way to make sure that you have the strongest booyah possible. And so the answer of whether or not you want to go with reefslider or booyah bomb, I think it depends on how you're feeling that day. I don't think that either choice is objectively better than the other. It's really what type of player do you want to be that day. Not to mention, what do you feel most comfortable with? I feel really comfortable with a booyah bomb. Reefslider, however, I can be a little bit like, I don't know if I can get out and be safe even after using my special. Although sometimes the reefslider can feel absolutely amazing because you're able to get in there when you're up close and it's getting a little bit uncomfortable. You're just able to splat hopefully a lot of people all at once. While the booyah bomb, you also have to be able to aim appropriately, right? It does paint very well, but it's more of a offensive weapon than a painting weapon. So which one should you choose? I would say go with the one that you feel comfortable with, the one that you know the most, and also what reflects the type of player that you are that day. Also, what are you having the most fun with? I think that both of these weapons serve their own unique purpose and need, and if you love playing with an Aerospray, then either of these options are good for you. Just keep in mind what are their pros and their cons, and I think you'll have a great time. Because at the end of the day, that's why we're here, that's why we love playing Splatoon so much. It's just a joy and so much fun. If I had to choose though, I would probably go with the gold. I think I prefer the gold personally. I feel comfortable with the sprinkler, even though I know a lot of people would prefer the fizzy bomb, and I like the booyah bomb. I think the gold is good. But let me know what it is that you guys would choose down below. Make sure to like and subscribe. I'm trying to make it to 100 subscribers by the end of the year, and if you could help me meet that goal, I would greatly appreciate it. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!